Joining me now is Ben LaPolte, the National Press Secretary for the Obama campaign. Ben, it's nice to see you this morning. We're going to get to talk about the bus tour in a moment, also the surrogates from the Romney camp that are trailing along on the bumper. But I want to start out with Mitt Romney's campaign reversal on the president's health care law and his comments that he gave out to CBS. Take a listen.
I said that I agreed with the dissent. And the dissent made it very clear that they felt it was unconstitutional. But the dissent lost. It's in the minority. And so now the Supreme Court has spoken. There's no way around that. You can try and say you wish they had decided a different way, but they didn't. They concluded it was a tax. That's what it is.
So Mitt Romney, Ben, playing cleanup here in this July 4th interview that he gave, because it's a big shift from what his advisor Eric Fernstrom told our own Chuck Todd right here on MSNBC Monday. The Wall Street Journal says in an op-ed about this that Mr. Fernstrom is part of the Boston coterie who are closest to Mr. Romney and wouldn't say such a thing without the candidate's approval. When you see what's going on and kind of the tail wagging the dog, so to speak, what's the Obama's campaign take on the sloppy messaging here?
Well, Mitt Romney can't get his story straight on health care. Not only did he disagree with what his own campaign advisor said this week, but he disagreed with his past comments. He had previously labeled the mandate in Massachusetts a tax as recently as 2009 in a USA Today op-ed. But I think part of the reason for this is, 6 years ago, Mitt Romney agreed with the president that we should take on rising health care costs and provide affordable, accessible health care to people. He included a penalty. A mandate in his legislation in Massachusetts. He said that his legislation should serve as a national model, and it did. And now 6 years later, apparently he doesn't believe any of those things. He thinks that we should allow insurance companies to discriminate against you if you have a pre-existing condition or charge women $1 billion more a year for their health insurance.
So, Ben, when we talk about, though, what President Obama believes in respect to this fee being a penalty and not a tax and how it was sold to the American people, and then reconciling that with what the Supreme Court and Chief Justice John Roberts has said, how do the two add up so that the president can try to convince people why his legislation was good for the country in the first place? If he still believes that this was always a penalty in the first place, however, the Supreme Court is the one labeling it as a tax.
Well, the court upheld the law. The penalty hits the 1% of the population who can afford health insurance but hasn't gone to get it. So they're going to emergency rooms rather than seeking preventative treatment, which is driving a hidden tax on the rest of us, the 85% of the population that does have health insurance, bumping up premiums for individuals $1,000 a year.
So if the president, though, doesn't agree it's a tax, he has to be thankful, though, that the Supreme Court has decided that it is.
Well, this is a penalty. It's administered through the tax code. There are similar penalties out there. For example, if you're an insurance company and you fail to notify somebody who's lost their job that they're available for COBRA coverage, or a wine producer who mislabels their wine. So there are similar penalties under the tax code. Ultimately, the court said that this was constitutional.
All right, Ben, that was a big win last week for the president and re-election. The shift now coming out tomorrow for the economy and the June jobs report, and it could be a blow. The recent numbers, they haven't been good. Unemployment up to 8.2% in May. Weekly jobless claims barely crossed the growth threshold after a month of the weak numbers. What is the president's case for re-election given such slow, even stagnant growth? For people that are following this, we saw the beginning of the year start with a boom and the pulse slowly weaken as we continue.
Well, you know where we were, Thomas, at the beginning of this administration, losing 800,000 jobs a month on the brink of another depression. That's been reversed. We've created more than 3.3 million jobs in the private sector. You've seen what the president done. The auto industry was on the brink. 1 in 8 jobs in Ohio, where he'll be today, was linked to the auto industry. 1 million jobs up and down the supply chain were on the line. Mitt Romney said we should let Detroit go bankrupt. The president granted rescue loans to the industry. But there's more we can be doing right now to create jobs. The president has had a plan on the table since last September that would create 1 million jobs, keep teachers in classrooms, cops on the street, construction workers rebuilding our roads and our bridges. Mitt Romney opposes that plan. Independent economists have said that the economic plan he's put forward could actually lead to another recession. And there's also more we can do in the long run, and that's what the president's going to be talking about on this tour, by building the economy from the middle class out, investing in things like education and manufacturing and research and development, development so that America can out-innovate and out-educate the rest of the world. That's how we'll restore economic security for the middle class in the long run.
We'll know when we see those numbers tomorrow, though. Ben LeBolt, National Press Secretary for President Obama and the campaign, thank you.